see the important points of this presentation. Okay. So here if you see, we have been discussing about SEO, okay, search engine optimization. So what is SEO? Optimization in general, it means making the best of the resources that you have, making the best use of the resources that you have. Okay, so search engine optimization means we have to make the best use of the website that we have created. Okay, let us understand this further with the terms in this session. Now here Mr. Suhas is asking that can he get any help? Okay, Mr. Suhas is asking, is there any tool that can check my website and help in optimization? Okay, so the digital media expert is going to answer it by saying, let me tell you more about SEO audit. So what happens? Mr. Suhas, the company owner, okay, he has got his website ready, but he wants to check, he wants to inspect whether the website is going in the right direction, whether the website will be able to gain customers. So what is audit in general? Audit means inspection, verification. Okay, so in SEO audit, we are going to inspect our website. We are going to see how we can improve our website's ranking. Okay, we are going to see whether the consumers, the users can view our website and we can with greater ease, so that it can increase the awareness of the product that we want to display in our website. Okay, so there is a free SEO audit tool which is called the SEO Optima. Okay, SE Optima. Okay, it's a free audit tool and it gives a detailed SEO analysis about the website. Okay, what does this analysis mean? It will check our website and it will say where our website is lagging or where our website is good, both. Okay, it will give us good points and it will tell us points to improve, plus it will give us actionable recommendation. Actionable means the place where we can take actions. Okay, where can we improve our website with these recommendations that have been given by the audit tool. Now next we are going to see some of the methods, some of the ways by which we can optimize, make the best use of our web page. Okay, now here we are going to see this not doc type HTML. There's an exclamation mark and doc type HTML that should be present in the beginning of the web page. Okay, it tells the browser the version of the HTML that is being used. Next is the title tag. Okay, the title tag, in the head tag there comes a title tag which tells us about the clickable part, the clickable headline. Okay, so when we search for a particular keyword, let's say we are searching here how to make a burger. Okay, there are some search lists that appear. Okay, now this, if you see here, perfect burger recipe is actually the title of what has been given in a certain web page. Okay, so title is the clickable headline. When I click this here, it takes me to that web page and I want to see this perfect burger recipe video. So I'm going to click this as a user and then it will be directing me to the website that contains that video. So the title plays a good role in listing our website higher on the search results page. Okay, next is our meta tag. A meta, in any term, it means information about information. Okay, information about information. Meta is a higher level information. Okay, so in the meta tag that also appears in the head tag, we get to know what keywords are being used in our website, what is the description of our website. Okay, so that is the meta tag. All these are important for optimizing our web page. We'll see the next things that are important, the ways by which we optimize our web page. Next is the body content. You will see the heading tags. Now, heading tags play an important role. Whatever has been given in the heading, okay, has to be given relevant to the product that we are trying to promote. Okay, so whether we are using h1 tag, h6 tag, any heading levels, h1 to h6 is there, no, h2, h3, h4. We have to keep in mind what we are displaying within our heading tags. Okay, next is our image tag. Okay, now image tag has got something as the alt attribute. Okay, there is an alt attribute that comes in. Okay, this alt attribute contains a specific description about the image. Now sometimes what happens in a web page, the image might, the source of the image, no, the place where the image has been placed, it might be changed, it might be shifted. Okay, by mistake happens. So what happens, sometimes when you click on that web page, the image will not get displayed, but whatever you're giving in the alt attribute, okay, whatever description you're giving, that will get displayed. So anyways, the user will know what image should have appeared in the web page. Okay, now this alt attribute, whatever it contains, is being used by the Google crawler to link the web page. Okay, we'll see the Google crawler and these terms forward ahead in this session. Next is keyword consistency. The keywords that we are using in the web page have to be consistent with the product that we are trying to promote. So suppose there is a web page that wants to promote the product about springs, okay, and bearers. So those keywords have to be used in the web page. Okay. The next terms are links. Okay, what links are available, okay, in the website. Now sometimes what happens is, I have created a certain website. Okay, let's say I have made these springs and bearers and all that, and I have an allegation and a combination of some other company too. Okay, so what happens, I provide links that if you have any other issues in some other part of the machine, you can go to this website and you will be directed for the repair. Okay, now what is happening is, I as a spring and bearer manufacturer company, I'm providing a link to a third party company who can do repairs on the machines. Now this is an online recommendation that I am providing. Okay, so backlinks are like online recommendation. Okay, so if your website has got certain links, it's an online recommendation for other websites. If other websites have linked to your website, it is a backlink or an online recommendation to your website. So that tells the search engine that people want to know about your website, they want to know about your product. Okay, second point is broken links. Broken links means links that don't work. Okay, links that don't work. So sometimes what happens is, the web pages, they get shifted from their original place. Okay, the links are still there in the website, but the web page has got shifted. So when we click that, it will come page 404, page not found, error 404, page not found. Okay, so those are like broken links. So we have to keep in mind that broken links should be avoided. Okay, next is friendly URLs. Okay, the address of your website should be understandable, should be short and keyword rich. Means the product that needs to be promoted, okay, those specific keywords have to also be used in the URL. Okay, next point is indexing and Googlebot. Okay, so there's a Google's web crawler is there. What happens is, this is a software system. Okay, what it does is it collects all the documents that are available in the World Wide Web. Okay, and it makes a Google search index. So suppose I'm going to search how to make a burger. This Google's web crawler, the Google bot, it would have already collected all the information, okay, all the website, the links, okay, which are going to display that recipe to me. Okay, that is called indexing. Process of adding a web page to the Google search, so that when I'm going to put those keywords in my search engine, immediately the list of the websites that make a burger will be displayed on my search results page. Okay, so that is indexing, adding of the web page to the Google search. And next is how we add those web pages is via the help of Google bots. Next points are robots.txt. Okay, now we have a website folder, okay, where all our web pages are existing. In that web page, I will also have a robots.txt. Okay, what this file will contain is which web page can be used for indexing and which web page need not be used for indexing. So suppose I have a product description web page, I want that to be indexed, but I have a contact me information index, I may or may not want that to be indexed depending on my personal choice. Okay, so depending on that, we will specify in this robot.txt what the Google crawler can index and what web pages it doesn't need to index. Okay, next point is device rendering. Now, websites in general are not just viewed on the laptop or on the computer. Nowadays, we view the websites on the mobile phone also, on the tablets. Okay, there are many other devices. So, device rendering means my website has to look good also on my mobile, also on my tablet, and also when I display the website on the laptop. Okay, next point is Flash. Okay, Flash is a interactive media technology. So what happens sometimes when you open a web page, a video will be played about a product description. It will be very interactive, very interesting for the user's point of view. But remember here, from the software, from the Google web crawler's point of view, it will not be able to read through Flash. Okay, so we have to keep in mind both the things, what will be attractive to the users and what will make my website rank further, keeping the web crawler in mind. So Flash and iframes are not very supportive when it comes to the Google web crawler or the Google bot. Okay, next point is favicon. Okay, the icons that we used on the website, okay, that create a brand value, the logo by which the customer can look at it and get connected with the product that we are selling. That plays a good role in the optimizing of the web page. Next is legible font size. It should be readable no matter which device I use. I cannot say it will be, my website will be readable on the laptop but not on my mobile. No, it has to be readable no matter what device I use. Okay, next is tap target sizing. Okay, now when a customer comes to your website, okay, they are supposed to perform some interaction. There is a space to click, there is a space to tap. Okay, so that size of that tap or touch elements should be appropriate. It should not be too small, it should not be too big, by which the customer can perform what he or she wants to do next on the website. Okay, next is your performance results. Okay, now performance results, it all depends on the number of resources. In this case, what is my resource? The number of web pages that I have used, okay, total number of files that need to be retrieved from the web server. Now, when I'm displaying a web page, what are all the interconnected files? Okay, there could be an image, there could be a video, there could be a text file, there could be some attachment, there could be links, etc., etc. All of those, how long is it going to take for my web page to display? That is a number of resources. Okay, next is page speed info. Now it is my job to make a website look attractive so that the customers will want to view my website, customers will want to buy my product. But also I have to keep in mind that the page should not take too long to display. So my ease of use and the attractiveness have to go hand in hand. Okay. The third point is downloadable file size, page size info. Okay, so the page size that is being downloaded, some users download the web pages, that size has to be appropriate, neither too huge, neither too less. Less is also okay, but we have to keep in mind these terms while optimizing our web page. Okay. Next is social media optimization. Now, what happens when people share these websites in the social media sites, maybe in Facebook, maybe in Insta, maybe in Twitter, blogs, etc., then it builds a certain familiarity and trust. So that adds to our SEO ranking. It adds to our ranking. Okay. And we have to also keep in mind the security checks that are necessary. Okay, the security checks is because sometimes the user may need to enter certain information on our website. Okay, so when the information is passed from one end to the other, the SSL, okay, there's a secured socket layer, so the user will generally be on the browser side. Okay, and the information may be being passed to the server side, so the information being passed is encrypted. Okay, same concept of encryption is used in hypertext transfer protocol secured. Okay, then there is malware check, which is a virus check. Is there any thing that is going to cause an hindrance to the software system or the hardware that we are using? That's the malware check. And email privacy. Okay, privacy of the information of the customer, and the emails have to be sent privately. Okay, so now Mr. Suhas has got another question. He is telling there are people who come and view his website. Okay, people come and view, but they don't make any purchases. He's very depressed about it. Okay, he's asking, can you tell me what to do? So Mr. Ajay, the digital media expert, he says, yes, don't be upset, don't be depressed. I will tell you what you can do about it. So there's something called as a purchasing funnel. Okay, now the first part is acquisition. In acquisition, what happens? The customer comes and views your website. Okay, they develop certain interest, they come and view your website, they see the product description, they stay on your website. That is the acquisition part from the company point of view, from the website point of view. Next is behavior. We have to make the user who comes to our website, we have to make them behave a certain way. How do we do that? We will want the customer to click on a link. We will want them to view a video. We will want them to enter something, enter the details, okay, or enter something. So that is some interaction between the user and the website. That is the behavior. Third one is conversion, where the user who visited the website not just remains the user, but buys the product and becomes the customer. Okay. Now the last point of your digital marketing is Google Analytics. Okay, in simple terms, analytics means something that is dealing with data and statistics. Okay, so even in our websites, okay, we have a web analytics service which is going to deal with data and statistics. and we will see what are the data and the statistics that it deals with. And the Google Analytics was not originally developed by Google. It was developed by a company, Urchin, in 2005. After that, Google bought that product from it, and it's now termed as Google Analytics. Okay, so what are the things that Google Analytics can track and report to the website owner is that it can tell the visitors that came to your website. Okay, in the past 7 days, how many users have come to your website? Sessions, how many interactions a visitor did with your website? Remember the behavior in the funnel. So usually this session is around 30 minutes. Okay, then bounce rate. It could be possible that the user came to your website but didn't do anything, shut it down. That's the bounce rate. Okay, fourth is session duration, average time a visitor is spending on your website. That tells you whether your website is connecting with its audience or no. Okay, and the last one is active users right now. How many active users are present right now? Okay. With that, Mr. Suhas feels that he has been directed positively and he will work on the digital marketing, content and social marketing too. So, Mr. Ajay wishes him good luck, wishes him success, and bye bye. With that, we will complete our digital marketing session 3 and we are ending our digital marketing chapter here. Go through the presentations, go through the YouTube links and go through your textbook. Bye everyone.